Today, most of the youngsters just go for starting their own business immediately after completing their education. Vast opportunities are open for them, but they should understand one thing, that starting or sustaining their own business is no easy manner, because this requires a proper business strategy as well as guidance in the form of business policies. To talk about Dr. N. Ramasubramaniam, he has been into the corporate sector for almost a grand 27 years. With his vast experience, today he has come to our show to discuss in detail about the topic of business strategy. Dr. N. Ramasubramaniam has been the president as well as the company secretary for large private sector group of companies. Currently, he is practicing as managing consultant, also as a lawyer, also educationist, trade union leader, and also a social worker. So, my dear viewers, to put in a nutshell, Dr. N. Ramasubramaniam is a multidimensional personality. Dr. N. Ramasubramaniam has also completed his postgraduate in labor welfare, industrial relation, as well as personal management. Having also the degree of bachelor in both law and education, he is also having doctorate in rural education. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, can you just explain us why youngsters go for business immediately after education? What should be done with regard to that?
My view on this subject is that youngsters after their graduation or education should start working elsewhere, somewhere, and then only start a business. The reason being that you should have the first-hand experience in any business outfit where you want to be a businessman at a later date. Even top industrialists send their children first to the factories, and they get the training in the factories, and thereafter only they are elevated to the board level as directors or managing directors, and so on and so forth. Therefore, my point would be that they should first have basic experience in an area where they would like to start a business. When I say the kind of business, I would like to mention that they should have the business in the core, in the field of core competency. This is one aspect. The second point is how to go about. They have to prepare what is known as a project report. When they prepare the project report with the help of financial wizards, technical people, they take into consideration various expenses like cost of land, machinery, then other assets, then the startup expenses called preliminary and pre-operative expenses before they commence the production. Then there should be a margin for working capital. In addition to that, there might be some marginal unexpected expenses, which we call it as contingency expenses. These things will have to be provided to determine the cost of the project and how to finance that, the means of financing. It should be by way of equity, the promoter's contribution, and the loans from the financial institutions. In this regard, my advice to the youngsters would be that please stick to the cost of the project and complete it within the time specified, and there should be no overrun in terms of time and also cost. If there is a overrun in the cost, where are you going to get the money for the deficit? A. B. If there is a time overrun, it is also ultimately going to end in cost overrun. How are you going to get the funds for that? Therefore, it is absolutely imperative for the youngsters that they should prepare the project report properly and implement it well within the time and the cost they have already determined. If there is going to be a overrun, there will be definite problems, and hence my suggestion to the budding young entrepreneurs would be, please stick to these schedules properly and you will be certainly successful. But do the business in the area of core competency for you. Don't try to start a business where your friends are prospering or your neighbors are prospering. Where you have the competency, you will have to do the business in that particular line. That's my suggestion.
Sir, talking about marketing, it plays a very vital role in the business suite. So what is your valuable idea with regard to marketing and business strategies?
This is a very important question. Before starting the marketing of any product, you will have to prepare what is known as a market service. That has to be done with the help of experts. What is the level of acceptance of your product will have to be properly assessed by the people who are specialists in the area, number one. Number two, you may also have to think in terms of selling the product within the country. If you take India, you have got more than 100 crore of people. It's a very big area where you can market your products. But you also gain status if you export. In fact, you will have to think in terms of exports also, so that the entire world becomes your market. Then another point I want to tell you is, more the turnover, more will be the profit. If you think like that, I'm afraid it is not the correct approach at all. Because in certain products, the turnover may be more, but the profit may be less. In certain areas, the turnover may be less for a product, but the profit would be more. Therefore, you have to make the proper assessment and come to a conclusion. Marketing, when I say, will have to be for new products and also for expanding your own existing product. When you introduce a new product, the business management people would say it is a push theory. You are pushing a new product into the markets. The other one would be, you have already got a good market. Your market share is so much, let us say 20% or 50% for the overall markets. Taking into consideration all the units doing the same kind of a product, manufacturing the same kind of a product. Here, you have to strategize in such a way that you are increasing the size of the cake. For example, the market for a particular product may be 100 crore. With your innovative ideas, innovative marketing strategies, that can be enhanced to a higher level. It can be even 100 crore, in which case the market share will be much more. Number two, in terms of absolute quantity and relative quantity also, it will be more. So you will have to take into consideration these aspects. Ultimately, you have to see the bottom line. When I say bottom line, it is the profit. After all, you are working for money. And you will have to get the money or profit what you are envisaging. So these are all certain aspects which an youngster will have to take into consideration while formulating the marketing strategy.
So when we talk about business strategy, nowadays great emphasis is being laid on something called as human resource development. So what is your idea about it, sir?
Yes, this is a very vital question. You have the machinery, you have the material, you have got the money. But which is the agency which will coordinate and produce the desired result? It is the men. Therefore, you have to recruit the right kind of people in an organization and give them proper environment to work very happily. The atmosphere or environment will have to be totally congenial. One. There are many theories about the human values, etc. After all, anybody would like to join an organization with a certain basic needs, and later on the needs become more and more. Maslow talks about 5 kinds of needs. He is talking about the level of needs. The basic need is physiological need. It is basic requirement like food, shelter, clothing, etc. Then the second one is security needs. Security means you confirm a person, he becomes a permanent employee in your organization. That is second point. And you will have to extend certain security benefits like Provident Fund, ESI, and so on and so forth. And the third level would be social needs. Yes, you are respected in the society. You are working in an organization which takes care of your interests. And acceptability by the society of you as an employee of a particular organization gives immense satisfaction. That takes care of the third level of need. And the fourth one is esteem or ego. Everybody has got an ego. Let us not forget about that. The ego will have to be satisfied. How do you do it? You have got to give promotion. You have got to make use of the potentialities of the individual and make him very happy so that he gives the best to the organization. And the final one is what we call it as self-actualization need. He is a totally happy person. I mean, there is no need for any supervision or whatever. He owns the organization. He says, I am the part and parcel of this organization. I am a co-owner of this organization. I will contribute to the maximum to the organization. This is what he is going to say when he comes to the level of getting satisfied in the last level. That is the self-actualization need. So, let me put it in a nutshell. You will have to recruit the proper people for the organization and nurture them, give the proper business environment, working environment, and take care of the interests of the people. They are working for money, they are also working for other benefits. It is not only the financial incentives, but also the other non-financial incentives which will have to be taken care of by an organization. Then definitely the contribution from the men will be really substantial.
Whenever we just talk about business strategy, again we hit upon some common terms called as finance. There is something called as financial strategy. So, Doctor, just with your years of experience, can you explain us what is financial management strategy?
When you ask the first question regarding projects, I mentioned that there should be no overrun with regard to the project implementation, both in terms of time and also cost. That is the basic thing. Apart from that, the finance management will have to be very proper. You should not dabble with the finance of the organization. If you get a money for short-term purposes, that should not be diverted for long-term purposes. Likewise, the long-term money should not be used for short-term purposes. The money that has been provided for a particular purpose will have to be utilized only for that. If you do some financial jugglery, definitely there is going to be a problem. For example, we have seen the best of companies, top companies in the world, Fortune 500 companies, they are all crumbling like a house of cards because of the financial indiscipline. And very ordinary companies, let me tell you, I have already talked about a company where there was some problem, serious problem. Lots of problems were there, but because of the financial discipline, tightening of the belt, the company could do very well and come up to a very high level. Therefore, in fact, I would like to talk something about the marketing we have talked about. A company was having only 1 crore turnover, no export at all. That company got into so many problems. It was all got over because of the financial discipline and systematic functioning. 1 crore turnover became a turnover of 67 crores, and the export turnover, which was nil at the start, was something like 27 crores. And for 5 years consistently, awards were given for best exporters by the Ministry of Commerce, New Delhi. Therefore, if you do business with the proper financial planning and utilize the funds for the purpose for which they have been procured, then there is no problem at all. Even the best companies like Enron or the WorldCom, they have all gone today because of the financial indiscipline. Therefore, my suggestion to young entrepreneurs would be that you be very, very transparent and be utilizing the funds properly, then you would be successful. This is my suggestion to them.
So whenever we again talk about business, quality becomes watchword today. So in what way this quality is connected with business? Can you explain, sir?
Yes. Quality is a very, very important aspect in business. Everybody would like to purchase only quality product. Everybody would like to get a quality service. So, this quality, when we talk about, it should be from C to C in an organization. From chairman to president, the lowest level. It is not only at the top level, top management level or middle level. It should be percolating down to the lowest level in the organization. Everybody should follow the quality standards that have been prescribed. So we are talking today about ISO 9000 series. ISO 9000 talks about the various systems that are to be adopted. But ultimately it is not the paperwork or procedure which is important, but basically conforming to the quality norms. That is the most vital aspect in any business. Quality, if you take care, everything will be fine. So you do your work. When I talk about the quality, it is not only the ISO 9000. I would like to talk about even the quality to take care of the interests of the society. This is what we call it as ISO 14000. ISO 14000 talks about environmental aspects. The business will have to take care of the environmental aspects. It should be not be creating any pollution for the society. These are all certain basic parameters the business man will have to look at. Don't think that whatever you are spending for environmental protection is an expenditure. We call it as today green accounting. You spend money for environmental purposes and that money is going to pay you back. Therefore, the quality is not only within the organization, it is also the quality which is vital for the society as such. If you take care of both the aspects, definitely you are going to be pretty successful.
So whenever we talk about business, again the matter of ups and downs come. That can be because of external or internal factors. But can you give valuable suggestion like how one can avoid or overcome any serious business problems?
Whether it is individual or business, there would be ups and downs. This is what we call as business cycle. The booms and the depressions will be there in any business. Definitely any business will have to face the greener side and also the other side. Don't lose heart. In fact, I want to share my experience. There was a company. That company had envisaged an expansion, increasing the level of production from 350 tons to 3,000 tons per annum. The project has been finalized. Amounts have been utilized for the project, expansion project. In that particular company, you cannot imagine so many problems. Those problems cropped up. For example, after having finance for the project, the banker refused to give money for the working capital. Number two, because of the expansion, the workers said, we have to get very substantial amount as expansion allowance. And the third one, there was 100% power cut. We thought we could manage the power problem with the help of generators. There were 3 generators. All the 3 generators failed at the same time. The workers went on a strike for 45 days. There was a closure. So there was no money from the bank. Then the banker was also asking the company to get out of the consortium and take money from elsewhere. Then the money has been utilized for the project and there is no production. The company sustained a substantial loss of something like 1 crore within a matter of 3 to 4 months. Then we never lost hope. All the executives joined together, the management, the managing director, all the directors. We had a meeting 1:1 with all people, and we decided that these are all the things that have to be done for bringing the company back to normalcy and get going with the expansion project. We all sat together, decided about the nitty-gritties, and finally implemented all those, and the company could be a very, very prosperous company within a matter of 1.5 years to 2 years. How did this happen? There can be n number of problems, but you should have what we call it as never say die attitude. That attitude will definitely take you to dizzy heights. Don't lose hopes. There will be ups and downs in business, but you are there to take care of these ups and downs, and don't lose heart. You would be definitely successful in your mission.
So when a business suite is established and the company owner probably has an idea of expansion or diversification, what are the norms and rules he should follow?
Yes. As far as this question is concerned, let me make a great emphasis on the core competency of the business. You decide a particular business where you are really competent. Try to have vertical expansion, horizontal expansion, etc. in the same line, interrelated line. But don't try to indulge in those areas where you are not competent. Unrelated areas, if you want to go, definitely there will be hell a lot of problem for you. You may not be really successful. There might be 1 or 2 people who have succeeded, but today even big companies are shedding those unrelated businesses to some people who have got competency. Therefore, my suggestion to the young entrepreneurs would be, once you establish yourself in the business, try to expand in the same line, try to have vertical and horizontal expansion in the related area, but don't try to indulge in those areas where you don't have competency at all. You may think that you can hire people and try to do those businesses, but I am afraid ultimately you may not be really successful. Therefore, unrelated areas will have to be willy-nilly avoided by the entrepreneurs. This is my suggestion to the youngsters.
So finally, can you explain us about the social responsibility and its major role in business strategy?
Yes. You are in business because of the society. The society is doing everything for you. You are dependent on the people. Your product and services will have to be marketed to the people. So the society is very important. The second point, the employees who are working for you. They are the people who are contributing for your success significantly. So you have to take care of the interests of the employees. And the third point, there are people who are putting the money, hard-earned money into your project, namely the shareholders. Their interests will have to be taken care. There should be value addition for their investment. That means there should be increase in the value of their shares. Then they are also putting the money for some return, which we call it as dividend. The dividend will also have to be consistently given to the shareholders. Then you have the people, namely the suppliers. They are supplying materials for you, machinery for you. You have to pay them on time. Then, last but not the least, is the government. The government is providing so many facilities for you. The infrastructural facilities are provided by the government. The government dues have to be paid, like income tax, sales tax, central excise, customs, etc. So these are all very, very important aspects. In addition to that, I have highlighted about the social responsibility with regard to environmental protection. The organization will have to address itself to the environmental angle to take care of the society's expectations and needs. If you don't care for example, I mentioned about this leather industries. The leather industries were creating a lot of pollution problem. The effluents were not properly treated. That created a lot of problem for the society. Today, the tanneries have joined together and set up a proper effluent treatment system whereby the effluents are properly treated and the society is also happy. If you don't take care of the environmental aspect, there can be hue and cry from the society which will ultimately spoil your business itself. Therefore, you have to be socially conscious. You owe responsibility and duties to the society. You are in existence because of the society and the people like the shareholders, the employees, the government, the suppliers and the society at large. There is no two opinion about the importance of social responsibility.
Well, viewers, in this interview we had with Dr. N. Ramasubramanian. He had clearly expressed about the views with regard to the project preparation, financial strategies, marketing strategies, expansion as well as diversification, and above all the social responsibility one should hold during the business strategies. And he had also clearly expressed in such a way that all of you would have been definitely benefited. I really hope so. And I also take this excellent opportunity to just heartfully thank our renowned guest Dr. N. Ramasubramanian to just join us for the session and give us valuable information despite of his busy schedule. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure, and I would like to thank the Doordarshan for giving me an opportunity to share my views to the young budding entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you, viewers.